like to call the meeting to order. This meeting is being recorded, since there's no one here besides us. If you'd please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Seeing no special recognitions this evening or citizens to comment, no student representatives joining us, let's seek approval of the minutes of December 4th.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from December 4th.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Aye. It is a vote. One abstention.
Actually, two, because I wasn't here either.
Okay, well, we still win.
Yeah.
3-2.
No
And
objection.
you didn't have any special recognitions,
I did
correct?
not, no,
Okay.
I did not.
We now turn it over to Dr. Burnell for the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the first item on the agenda is the strategic plan update, and I want to thank the 20 or so individuals, including Mrs. Harrington, who were part of this team. We actually met back in October, and hopefully you had an opportunity to read through and see that, so even though this was just created with the 140-plus community and school representatives back in November of 2017, considerable work has already been accomplished on it, and we've got some great plans in place for the rest of this year. We actually will come together again in January to do a brief update, and then again, I think it's in May, to do a final update for the year. So lots of great progress taking place on every one of the 5 goal areas, so I thank those members of the team
Thank you.
who devote their time,
Yeah, it's
yes.
been a great time, actually. It's a great committee, so.
Great group. The next item, wanted to make you aware, I think I may have mentioned to you, so the night that we showed the documentary, If They Had Known, District Attorney Early was in attendance, and he introduced the program because that was funded through his office. That same night, our athletic director, Mr. Davis, spoke with the DA, and he was mentioning how they have funds to help support. So he actually is coming through his office with $3,000 donation for the JV boys and girls basketball uniforms. So he was intending to come to Auburn High to do a formal gifting of this money yesterday, but with the no school day, that's being rescheduled. So, but we're very excited that he's doing that. So I wanted to make you aware and have you accept that with gratitude.
That's excellent. I understand that motion.
Make a motion to accept with gratitude the donation in the amount of $3,000 from District Attorney Early to support the purchase of new uniforms.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
No, just that's really great.
That is great.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
The next item, I put together my mid-year goals update, and do just want to stress that in each of these regards, it really is a team effort. So I thank the leadership team and all members of the APS team, because really it is all of us working together on this. I am happy to share, we have scheduled a Strengthening Families update for the January 8th school committee meeting, and we have a Bright program update, I think, at our first February meeting, which I think is February 5th. So those will both be good to see. And also wanted to make you aware, I noted in here that another program that we are working very hard to establish is a program we're calling Encore. And it is to actually utilize some space here at central office for some students who have age-wise graduated from high school but are not yet ready to leave due to some of their special needs that they have. So it would be a strong vocational component. They would be housed here. They'd do some cooking and things, getting ready for work, and be out in job sites for much of the week. But I think it's a really exciting opportunity. We had another meeting about it this morning, and we're actually going to see another program sometime, I think it was January 12th, we may have just scheduled for. So we look forward to rolling that out, and once we have it a little bit more solidified, we'll bring it back to you and share with you. But I think it's going to be a great program for our kids.
Sounds great.
I have a question through the chair. With that program moving, or being here,
Mm.
are we gonna have to do any updates to this building?
So, through the chair, that's a great question. We actually have done a little bit of updates in the kitchen already. Mr. Fahey and his team, they actually came in, they were our little holiday elves, and painted everything in there, and we brought a refrigerator that was not being used in high school and a stove over here as well. So, we're gonna be adding in a big table, but we have money for equipment and furniture from our CIP, so
Oh, okay.
we're good with everything we need, yeah.
Great.
Yep.
Through the chair, I just have a question about unified sports.
Mhm.
Are any of these students still going to be able to participate, and will we be able to do transportation?
We will be able to do transportation, so that's one of the items that we're talking about. And, you know, that program is such a great program. They may stay in the same capacity, or perhaps they might even shift into like a coaching or assistant coaching
Oh, great.
capacity,
Okay.
something like that, because
Okay.
it really is an outstanding program, and we're actually even talking about, we're having a unified basketball team at the middle school starting soon,
Right.
too. So Mr. Dunn is going to be doing that. It's just four games with some area school districts. We just got notice from Patty at Special Olympics about that. But we do want to have them still be involved with
Okay.
that. Yeah,
Great.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They seem to thrive through that, so
They do.
it's good.
Great, thank you.
That's
You're
great.
welcome.
We're starting it off a little sooner.
Yeah.
I would entertain a motion to approve those mid-year goals.
Make a motion to accept the superintendent's mid-year goals update as provided.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There's a vote.
So the next two items, talking about the preschool rates as well as our before and after school program rates. We did a comparison for you. In my 12-year tenure, we have not made any adjustments to the preschool rates. And as you can see here in comparing them with the other Auburn preschool rates, they are significantly less. And costs each year have gone up, salary costs and supplies and materials and things. So a group of us met and reviewed this data and do recommend a shift. So currently, it's $165 a month for the 3 and 4-year-olds who are in the half-day program. So that equates to, I wonder if Mrs. Zotner included it in here, it seems she didn't. That equates to less than $4 an hour that people are paying for that rate. Shifting it to the $250 a month, still, as you can see from this, is a considerable bargain. And we think it's a high-quality program, as are the others in town, but gets the hourly rate to closer to the $5.60 an hour. And then similarly, the full-day program, it's currently $440 a month. We would recommend, so that same hourly rate, to go to $550 a month. And again, that remains very inexpensive programming, and comparatively speaking as well. So it is my recommendation.
I would entertain that motion.
And if I just may add to, Mr. Chair, I apologize. I think the other piece, that we were really cognizant of, that we didn't have use of a number of years ago, is the fact that we have the sliding fee, so that this isn't going to disadvantage any family. So
good.
we have families who regularly, on an annual basis, I think it's in its third year, have applied for this, and whether they get it completely free or at a very reduced rate. So we would then look to make those same adjustments, percentage-wise as well.
Okay.
I would entertain that motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the adjustments to the preschool tuition rates as presented.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Just a comment, I guess, my only concern would be for the sliding scale people, because the whole point of the preschool was to make it accessible for everybody.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
as long as that, I'd be in agreement, as long as that's true.
Through the chair, if you would like, I can actually bring back, because we brought that sliding fee, the scale to you back, so you could see, so we could bring it back to you to show what the different rates would be.
Okay.
If you'd like to see that,
Yeah,
I'm
I
happy to
would,
do
yeah.
that. Okay,
Or the increase amount, what we need,
okay.
what they pay.
Through the chair, I think we definitely, it's time to go up. Is the money going to stay within the preschool program, or does that go into the overall budget?
It would go into the preschool revolving account. So that
Okay.
revolving account is set up and can only be spent on the preschool.
Okay.
So money's there. We use it as offsets for some salaries and things, and then it includes a snack
Yep.
and milk for kids every day. So all of the money has to stay within the preschool.
Okay.
Good.
Yes,
That's good.
sure. Sure.
Good question. Any others? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It is a vote.
And then looking at our before and after school programming rates, again, they have not increased in 12 years. They are very popular with our families. So our recommendation is to adjust the rate so that it is $5 per hour. It's currently $4 an hour. But important to note is that the siblings get a 50% discount. Even if there's more than one, they get the 50% discount. So in looking at area programs, we feel that rate is a reasonable rate as well. And the salaries, the hourly, it's not salaries, the hourly rates for those working in the programs do go up. Not substantially, but they do.
I would entertain that motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the increase in the hourly rate for the before or after-school programs to $5 an hour, keeping the siblings discount at 50%.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
When would these new rates take effect?
They would go, start for the 2021 school year.
Oh.
And same thing for preschool.
Oh.
So no changes this year, would be for next year's rates. Just that we're starting to get, it's the time of year where we're starting to get materials ready for registrations and things.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it's important to keep that staff
Mhm.
going and
Mhm.
consistency for the kids and
It
stuff.
is.
They're valuable people.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Any further commentary? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It is a vote.
And then I had promised you, so Mrs. Zotner and I dug out the NESDEC enrollment projection that had been done. It was for the time period of 2003 to 2013. And as you can see, they did it in two different ways. We're uncertain why. But you can see the projected by NESDEC, the K-12 numbers, and then they separated out just for the grades 5 through 12. So we really tried to draw, some conclusions. The end, what we really looked at is we said, what, they were close, less so in some years, than in others. And then no preschool numbers or school choice were included. So NESDEC wouldn't have known about school choice at that time. So you have to figure that piece in. And obviously our preschool program since this time has doubled. We're more than, we've got over 100 kids in our program. So, it looked as though they were in the ballpark, but it varied by year. So,
Right.
I think we're just going to have to continue to, as I noted in here, for us to monitor it on an annual basis and make sure that as we see spikes in some drops, to bring it to your attention.
Any comments? Seeing none, we'll move on to unfinished business.
So we put on here the FY '21 budget. We don't have any changes at this time. Actually, we do, but it's later in the meeting. So there is a slight change, but it's under the business report, so we can wait and take it then if you're okay with that.
Okay. Now move on to new business.
So I shared in here, so about in mid-October, Mrs. Kwiatkowski reached out and shared that the chair of the Board of Selectmen had received the request from Centerline Communications. And it's noted here, I don't see the letter in the packet here, I'm not sure why, I can get a copy of that to you. But basically what they're looking for is to put a tower, it would be AT&T is the one that has proposed this, put a tower on the 10 Swanson Road property, which is the Swanson Swiss. And they could potentially, so Mr. Fahey, Mrs. Wisbecki, and I met with the gentleman and Mr. Simon Bringetti. And so he gave us some photos. One is of a looks to be like a flagpole. And it's, I believe, in Southborough, the Southborough Town Hall. And I had intended for the copies of those to be sent to you, and I don't see them in the packet here. So you really don't have a lot of information to go by. But in speaking with the town manager about this, even though they're proposing this, it would still need to go out to bid, because it would be a lease, is my understanding, and this is not something that I regularly do. So we wanted to bring it to your attention for your consideration, and perhaps you table this until the January 8th meeting, and you can have the pictures and things of what it might look like. But as noted in here, the range of lease payments would be, and this is his estimate, between $1,800 and $2,100 per month. Again, a revolving account would typically be set up for this, and those monies, and depending on how you structured the account, may need to be used just for Swanson Road Intermediate School. And then he talks about a co-location where they would have some external antennas and others could buy onto. But I will tell you, the photos that he showed, it looks very much like a flagpole, you
It's
know.
in our
So through
packet
the-
Oh, you did get it
Yeah,
online?
it was
Okay, she
online,
just
yeah.
didn't print it. Okay, okay.
So through the chair, though, I do have, my primary concern wouldn't be what it was, it would
Mhm.
be who.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have access and who would be coming onto school property to do maintenance. It seems like
Mm-hmm.
I would want to see some sort of security measures in place for that, because as a parent, I wouldn't,
Mhm.
so that's just the AT&T guy. Well,
Right.
we don't know the AT&T guy.
Sure,
So we don't
sure.
know if they're Corey checked or, you know, and depending on the location of where it would be at Swiss, is it gonna be adjacent to where kids are playing at recess?
Mm.
That would be a larger concern to me than lease payments
Sure.
or
Yep.
anything like that.
That makes sense.
Hmm.
Do you know where on the property through the chair it would be going?
So, in the original letter, it mentioned somewhere near the ball field. In speaking with Mr. Fahey, one of the things we were thinking about is it would be better, for some of the reasons that you're stating there, along Vine Street. So somewhere, so that it is over on
On
that
that other side.
Yeah, so that's
Far over.
not on the playground side and the ball field side of it. But, you know, with this, I really just wanted, and you can decide tonight or wait until the 8th, if you want us to continue to pursue to get more information. We just didn't want to go down this road to gather more information to give to you if it was something you weren't interested in considering. And I think the concerns that you raised and others that may come up would be ones that we'd have to delve into. Ms. Jacobson did share that it may even require town meeting approval, but as she said in her original, or some of our communications, with the potential economic funding that it could generate, she thought at least bring it to see if it's something that you're interested in
Well, and
learning
through-
more about.
And through the chair, one other consideration, and I don't know the answer to this, which is why I'm asking, but what does this open us up to in terms of what we now would have to consider if any business came to us and wanted to lease part of Swanson Road property for some type of a business? So even if this particular instance seems like it would work well for us, I would want to know the long-term impact that they may have. Similar to how we deal with organizations that want to lease out our buildings, like our
Mhm.
school buildings, so.
So would we be obligated if we did it for one to do it
Yeah.
for others? Sure.
That's a good
Yep.
point.
Yep,
Very good.
yep.
So do we want to table this, pursue it? Any other questions or commentary?
through the chair. The money is attractive. I
Mm,
mean,
mm.
definitely the district can, or Swiss especially,
Mhm,
could use the money.
mhm,
But
mhm.
sorry, Meg, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, through the chair, I'm just thinking about, are there, not radiation, but things that come out of it? I just
Mhm.
want to know, I definitely would want to table it without making a decision tonight. The money's interesting, but
However, if
Whether-
we decide to at least temporarily pursue it, I think the information would be, I think would come to us a little quicker through the company
Mhm.
if we say that we are at least somewhat interested. We
Yeah,
have
I
no-
wouldn't
we have
want-
nothing to lose at this point.
Yeah,
No,
that's
I
true.
agree, I agree.
You can always say no.
And that way, Dr. Brunel can ask those very questions.
Mhm.
absolutely.
And this may have come up in other districts as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So the mayor would
Mhm.
be prepared with
Sure.
an action plan.
Yep.
through the chair, I would want to hear if there were concerns from families,
Mhm.
you know. That would be important too, to know. I mean, if everyone is dead set against it, then pursuing it further, I don't feel is a wise decision.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, to get those questions answered might be worth pursuing, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well then I would entertain the motion to pursue.
I'll make the motion to pursue the project as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It is a vote.
Great, thank you. And then noted in there are the concerts. They went off beautifully at Packagug on Monday. The Bryn Mawr ones were canceled. They're actually going to be held tomorrow, which will be nice. And then we end the week with the tour of the high school musicians going around to all of the schools. And
Well, that's always nice.
there are some fun things in there too. And a reminder, Ms. Jacobson wanted me to make sure to let you know that the luncheon is taking place up at Town Hall tomorrow, if you're interested in joining.
Any further comments? Seeing none.
So Mrs. Worsbicky included a year-to-date budget report as of December 9th. We remain in good shape. We monitor it on a weekly, sometimes more basis. So I don't have any concerns to share with you on that. There are some transfers in your packet that I would ask and seek your approval of, those that are between this series.
I would entertain the motion.
Make a motion to approve the transfers between the series as presented by the business manager.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It is a vote.
And then, as I alluded to earlier, we got some good news. French River Education Center opened the bid for the fuel oil number 2. So Peterson Oil was the lowest responsible and responsive bidder at a rate of $2.1547 per gallon. So with that, Mrs. Worsbicky and Mr. Fahey reviewed our budget. So there are 2 motions that we'd need. The first one is for you to approve the bid award, and then the second one to reduce the proposed FY21 budget by $3,000 for Bryn Mawr School and $5,000 for Swanson, as they are the 2 facilities that use the number 2 heating oil.
That's a nice number.
Ooh.
I would entertain that motion.
Make a motion to approve the bid award for fuel oil number 2 to Peterson Oil with a fixed price of 2.157 cents a gallon for the period covering July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I should amend that to $2.15. Apologies.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There's a vote. And I would entertain that second motion.
Make a motion to approve the reduction in the heating line item for Bryn Mawr in the amount of $3,000 and Swiss in the amount of $5,000.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on that?
Yeah, that's wonderful. $8,000 savings? Wow.
Yeah,
That's great,
It's great.
especially this year.
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There's a vote. And we now move on to policies.
So this is the policy that you approved on first reading, so it is my recommendation that you approve it on second reading this evening.
I would entertain that motion.
Make a motion to approve the above named policy on second reading.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There's a vote. And we do need an executive session this evening, so I would entertain that motion.
I'll make a motion per Mass General Law, Chapter 30, Section 21A2, to conduct strategies for negotiations with union and non-union personnel, and Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with regard to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body, and the chair so declares. So, that we have an executive session.
Well done. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote.
Dr. McCrillis?
Yes.
Mrs. Kaufman?
Yes.
Mrs. Holloway?
Yes.
Mrs. Harrington?
Yes.
And Mr. Scobie?
Yes. Good night, everyone.